Okay, you guys, this is going to be really quick. Maybe so quick that nobody can get into the room. So I saw a really cute story on Insider, and it was titled, "A Student Refused to Pay for His Date's Meal After She Ordered Lobster and a $90 bottle of wine." And she wasn't happy about it. So I thought this was pretty funny. So let me go over the points. A Reddit user shared a text exchange with a woman he went on a date with. She was not interested in a second date because he refused to pay for her meal the first time. He said he didn't pay for her because she ordered a $126 meal of lobster and an expensive wine, while he had a $20 meal of pasta and beer. As a result, she called him rude, and he said he only wanted to have sex with her. Users commenting on the post said he did the right thing. Okay, this is kind of a fun story, and so I do want to talk about this. This is what I'll say, and I'm not going to spend too much time on this. Number one, I will say that $126 is not a lot for a meal. I've definitely been on dates and more gone to my favorite French restaurant in San Francisco. And, after a $700 meal, right, literally let somebody just kiss me on the cheek. So I think that it can get expensive, but here's the thing. The person that took me on the meal can afford a $700 meal, right? So I think first things first is you don't go to a restaurant you can't afford to be in, right? You're not going to go to Jardiniere. You're not going to go to some upscale restaurant and you can't actually afford what's on the menu. Also, when a woman is ordering, if you want to put restrictions on, you hear her ordering the lobster and you can't afford the lobster and you planned on paying, then speak up. If it's a going Dutch situation, speak up. I think honesty is very critical. I think when he said he only wanted to have sex with her, this is what I teach my daughters about men, is most men are only going to want to have sex with you. Do you know what I mean? They literally a lot of times feel that the things they do for you are in exchange for sex, and get a little salty if they don't get sex after they've invested a little time and a couple of dinners in a woman, which is saying a lot, to think you can buy a person's body with food. But with that said, I don't know that he necessarily did the right thing, but I do think that if he couldn't afford that, he should have just spoke up and said he could not afford that. Or if you're going to order lobster and a $90 bottle of wine, we're going to have to go Dutch. Do you know what I mean? That is a weird sort of restaurant, though, that's going to have a $20 pasta and a beer. That kind of sounds like a lie to me, because a place that is serving lobster is not going to have pasta and beer that only cost $20. So that just sounds like a lie to me, kind of. Do you know what I mean? I don't know. Maybe it's because I'm from San Francisco. A plate of pasta is like $25. Do you know what I'm saying? So, and a beer is like $6 to $8. So I don't know where they were, that's a weird combination of food to have, lobster and then cheap pasta. But it sounds a little fake. But Reddit says that it was a text exchange. I thought this was a really cute story. I'm not going to spend too much time on it. But I am going to look at the comment section really quick so just so I can see what you guys think about the whole thing. Let me see if I can click on it and then see. Because I'm about to make some cookies, you guys. I just thought this was a funny story, and so I wanted to share it with you. I literally think I just have a handful of trolls that just clicking dislike on my video just for the sake of clicking it. Because I've noticed that on every single video. So do click the thumbs up. Okay. Let's see. You only take them out for coffee. Yeah, now, Lee J, I've heard from men that date a lot of women that they always try to do coffee or tea. I will say this. I haven't done like tons and tons of dating, but if somebody asks me out for coffee or tea, I won't go because I will assume that they are dating a lot and that they're trying to keep their cost down per date. And so if you're like mingling with that many people, I'm probably not going to be the chick for you anyway. Well, I'm not saying 126 is change. I'm just saying it's not a super expensive meal for dinner. But I'm also from San Francisco. Keep that in mind, Father Elder. And two, if you can't afford to be in a restaurant, don't take somebody there. You know what I mean? Like, or be upfront what you can't afford to be in a restaurant. Unless it's Red Lobster. I mean, but does what Red Lobster have $90 wine? That's why it sounds like a little iffy to me. Like, did she drink the whole bottle of wine too? Do you know what I'm saying? Like, who orders a bottle of wine? There's 4 glasses of wine in a bottle. She would be toasted as hell. That's why it doesn't sound Brother Prophet, you have gone totally in left field. Let me see. They're not committed. Well, here's the thing. If they're not committed to the relationship, then why are you taking her to that restaurant? Like I'm saying, you take people where you want to eat, or where you can afford. You don't go to Sasa and then get upset if the meal is $150. Like, why'd you take her to that restaurant? There's all these places you could have gone. The Cheesecake Factory has your name all over it, right? That's what I would think. Go Cheesecake Factory. He should have taken her to McDonald's. Really, Dejan? McDonald's? That would have been a date that I wouldn't have gone on. She should have asked before she ordered. You are very polite. Yes. I actually have been on a date. This has like really happened to me. Where I was literally told, do not order the most expensive thing on the menu. I've actually had that happen to me, you know? So men that I date already know, don't let me pick the restaurant if you don't really want to go. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, don't do that. You better pick the restaurant because if I pick the restaurant, I'm going to pick it. If I, when my man and I go on vacation, he and I have like a hotel compromise, right? He's like, I'm not paying $1,000 a night for a room. We make a compromise and he'll go $500 a night for a room. But then if we take this trip, we can only stay X amount of days. Or, you know what I mean? Like, we'll have a conversation and we'll find a happy middle ground because he likes to pinch a lot of pennies. But see, like, you just should not, but it is appropriate to ask. I personally wouldn't order the most expensive thing on the menu. When I went to Jardinier, it was a tasting menu. It was a tasting menu with wine pairing, right? And I had never ordered the tasting menu at that restaurant. The restaurant's already expensive, right? You get in there, you're going to have a $200, $300 meal. But he was like, let's do the tasting menu with wine pairing. And he also ordered an additional bottle of Riesling, which was delicious. It's literally my favorite Riesling to this day. But the point is that he had the money to do that. So you should not, there's some places you don't belong if you can't afford to be there. And if you look at the menu, and I think in this case, were they both students? I think they were both students too. So in that way, I agree. Like, if they're both students, she probably knows. I mean, unless they go to Harvard or Princeton or, one of those nice schools, Stanford, then he might have been able to afford it. But at the end of the day, he said all he wanted was sex. I don't know if he said that because he was upset or because he was being serious. But if all he wanted was sex, that would explain his reaction. Yeah, just be upfront, Omega said. It's a presidential meal. If the winning college football champs can eat it, why can't we? Oh, shut up. You're a mess. You are a flippin' mess. 2 McDoubles and a sweet tea? That is so nasty. Don't ever eat at McDonald's. What happened to the frugal black wives of old? Um, I don't know. What happened to them? I take my own bottle and pay my little bottle fee. Wait, can you even do that? I don't know any places that you can do that. Where the heck can you go where you could take a bottle and pay a bottle fee? I have not heard of that. He's not penny pinching. He's just not going to pay for something to sleep in overnight. Why pay all that money? Well, I think they did well to not be in a relationship. Clearly, he just wanted sex. $126 could be a lot if you feel the person's not more valuable than a sexual encounter for the night. She dodged a bullet because clearly she didn't give him her body after he pulled that, and she refused to date him again. So I guess it worked out for the best. But see, this is a cautionary tale. Men, don't take women to restaurants you can't afford to be in. Women, don't give up the vagina for a meal. Lesson learned all around. Okay. Yeah, or he could have even done something. You know what's clever, like for young people, is to do like Groupon. I mean, I don't know. When you're young and in college, who cares? Like, I'm a fully grown woman though, so I would get upset about something like that. But, young and in college, dating or going out with girlfriends, like that's something different. But I also think women, you should not expect a man to do something for you you're not capable of doing for yourself. Now, if he offers, that's fine. But you shouldn't order a meal that you wouldn't order yourself. The stuff that I order when I'm out with people, that's the same stuff I would get for myself. So I would be a little salty if you can't even manage what I can already manage for me. Some women judge you for using a Groupon no matter what. It depends on what you use it for. You know what would be smarter than like dinner because everybody does dinner? Sometimes Groupon has really cute things like I've seen honeybee harvesting, stuff like that, honey harvesting and stuff like that. Instead of doing a meal, like if you don't have money like that, do something creative. You know what I mean? Like I know in San Francisco they have like a mystery thing. You can do a Groupon for that where like you go and then you solve like this elaborate mystery like with other people. And stuff like that is fun, it's interactive, it's different. It'll make you stand out. And I think if it's a thing like that, then Groupon won't matter. You'd be like, I saw this really cool thing and I was like, I'm going to grab a Groupon and we can just have fun today. Something fun to do is do like segues. Do you know what I mean? Do like a Segway trip. I don't know. Like I'm from San Francisco, so I'm naming stuff that we do in the city. Like it doesn't have to be dinner. And it gives you an opportunity to have the pressure off and have fun. And it's not as expensive. And then if you just go grab a sandwich from the local Vietnamese place or something, then that's a cheap meal, but the date is still fun. Do you know what I mean? So it sounded to me like he was a little bit of a jerk and lacked imagination. And he also picked a bad restaurant. And she was ordering something, clearly she paid for it, right? So she did have the money to cover her own meal. But that would be my advice. Like, if you truly don't have the money for that, do something fun, be different. Do you know what I mean? Because that would stand out so much more. And then I think you could get away with the Groupon. Just talk to her, Father Elder. Talk to her without hitting on her. Do you know what I mean? Invite her out to do something that's low pressure. I don't know, like I know in San Francisco, the Academy of the Sciences has Academy After Dark. And it's like when only adults go and you get to see the exhibits like without kids and they serve drinks and stuff like that. Like find something creative to do like that. If there's a botanical garden where you live, Father Elder, like ask her if she wants to go there. Find something interesting. I know that there's a new movie coming out that my man wants to see called Us, a black movie by either Keenan or Peele, one of those two. Invite her to go see it. Like something low pressure um, is great. Although I know the movie can get expensive, y'all. Oh, I've never heard of that. What could I get if I took you to a Broadway Royal Fish Market? I can't with you. Hi, Lando. The shrimp dinner. Well, no, you can't say that, BGS, because here's the thing, right? If your Groupon, like, I think it's all in how you play the Groupon thing. I might lightweight be insulted by a Groupon if it were for dinner or something like that. But if it were for something like I was saying that was creative, like Segway, a mystery party, um, honey harvesting, just anything fun, it would make more sense to me. So I think like a lot of stuff is in the presentation. So I think Groupon is okay if it's doing something interesting because it's like you don't know if you're going to like it or not. You only did it because you saw it. It seemed cool. It was on Groupon. You were like, let's do this. It's weird. I saw it on Groupon. Let's check it out. Like, have you ever done it before? And she's going to go, no. And you guys are going to go and have fun doing something that neither of you has done before. So I think if you're going to be doing Groupon for a date, don't do dinner Groupon. Do an activity. Do you know what I mean? Make it fun. Be creative. I think that is like a better way to go. And I think that conveys a lot more than coming off like you just want to have a cheap dinner. Do you know what I'm saying? Because it can come off like that. Lots of extras being said online, different story when folks go out. I don't know what you mean by that. College students should do Groupon dates. Yeah, I suppose. I didn't date in college, so I can't say. I feel like college students should just be focusing on getting their degree. Some chicks that argue with ABL, same chicks that argue with ABL that black folks don't have access to good food though. Um, I said that poor people in poor neighborhoods, they don't have access to good food. I mean, why come on here and be negative, Benjamin, for no good reason? Like, that doesn't make sense. I just said there's no Whole Foods or Trader Joe's in a poor community. And that's true. So it wasn't an argument. I like ABL, so just don't be a weirdo, you know? Um, oh, a Thai class? See, that's cool. See, BGS, when you come into a relationship though, because you said, nope, if she stays, cool, I know she's with me. If not, she didn't pass my test. BGS, when you start playing, when you start a relationship with somebody, be that a friendship or a business relationship with playing games, it will be unsuccessful. Do you know what I mean? I don't believe in testing people. I believe in being a genuine human being. If you start playing games with people, then you're going to be involved in a game. And for me, I know me, I'm trying to be involved in real life, not a game. I don't want to be in any kind of relationship with a person, be that intimate, a friendship, a family ship, a business relationship. I don't want to be in any type of relationship with a person that's constantly playing games and giving me tests because you test people and they'll fail. Do you know what I mean? Life is not a game to be played. Okay. This is real life. Do you want someone playing games with you and testing you all the time? You know, I think it's very petty. And I think I'm not saying you BGS, but I'm saying like, I feel people who feel they need to test and play games are insecure. And there's just no need to do that. Bring your genuine self to the table. And if a person's not vibing with that, then next. Do you know what I mean? But as far as just interacting with people and you're putting out little tests, let me say this and see what they're going to say. And if they say the right thing, then, then I'm a roll with it or I'm a not. Let me do this and see how they react. And if they do this or do that, that's some movie stuff. Do you know what I mean? Like if they leave me the last chicken, it means something. If they, you know what I mean? If they reach over and open the door, it means something. If they no, at the end of the day, people are very multifaceted and like, we can't, it's not like that in my opinion, right? Just in my humble opinion. Yeah, I think a Broadway play, a musical concert, a jazz concert, those are all really cool. dates. But what I will say about those sorts of things is it doesn't give you the chance to interact with the person. Do you know what I mean? Like movies, things that you have to sit passively and enjoy won't give you the opportunity to get to know the person. That I feel like dates like that, Paul, are more like experiences you have once you already know somebody. Because when you have a date like that, you're going to enjoy the entertainment. You're not going to enjoy the person and you don't get interaction, so you won't really get to know them. Yeah, people give tests and then they get mad at the results. That's exactly true. Like then you'll be upset somebody didn't pass your test. But see, when you play games, oh, why do I say that? Because everybody has something that they say repeatedly. So I guess that's something I say repeatedly. Well, BGS, women don't do it all the time. Immature people do it all the time. I feel like men and women sometimes play games. Do you know what I mean? But honestly, game players can stick together. That's how I feel. I'm too mature for that, me personally. So I would be looking for somebody that's not doing that too. That's like people who um, want to get mad and want to try to pretend like they're mad or stay mad until you're willing to come and apologize to them. Like some women like to do that. Do you know? Like there's all kinds of things that all kinds of people do. But the thing is, you're either a mature person or not. And mature people don't do tests and play games. And in a mature relationship is the only kind of relationship that's going to be successful. So if you're searching for mature relationships, be that in business, be that romantic, be that a friendship, or any other kind of relationship, it requires you not acting like a literal child. It requires you not playing games with people. It requires you not trying to set people up with tests. So I don't know that any mentally fully grown adults are moving that way, BGS. I think like that's not necessarily the case. Insecure people run tests and play games. Yeah, they do. Yeah, exactly, Mister. If she wants to play games, drop her off at the arcade or drop him off at the arcade. Like, that's for children. Look, Thankful Sunday, chill out, okay? Now, your negative interpretation on things, you let that be what it is, okay? But as far as me, don't, because you have a negative outlook on life, try to impose your negativity on me. We're sitting here trying to have a light and fun conversation about something that I saw on where did I see this? On Insider. And you're trying to turn this into some deep negative stuff. And I mean, you could just take your negativity and march on over to another channel where they indulge negativity and like that. If you're offended by a simple statement, like, do you know what I mean? And you feel your intelligence is insulted because that's a phrase I like to use, then you're hypersensitive. And hypersensitive people won't do well in my presence. They really, really won't. Well, Paul, you're cold blooded. Y'all are a mess. I'm just saying, he's a little sensitive. I'm sorry they timed you out, Thankful Sunday, but I'm just saying, like, you can't be that sensitive in life. Like, you will not get far in life. You'll be so devastated because people are going to say a lot of things to you and they're going to be actually mean. So if you're getting offended over just random things, you'll never survive in the real world. A coffee test is cheap. They don't pass, you're gone. I don't go out for coffee. So, yeah, I don't do coffee. That's a negative. So I would be gone for all kinds of people because I feel like when people invite you to tea or coffee, they are dating lots of women. They're going on lots and lots of dates and they're trying to keep costs low per date. And I don't have time to be part of somebody's rotation. So I just pass on coffee and tea. I have coffee and tea in my house. I literally have tea and coffee. Like, I don't have coffee, but I drink tea like 3, 4 times a day. I don't need to go out for that. Now, unless you're inviting me to a tea house, but see, tea house dates are expensive. But if you're inviting me to a tea house where I'm going to have petite fours and I'm going to be having little finger sandwiches with some tea, that's something else. But if you're like, meet me at Starbucks, meet me at Pete's Coffee, I'm going to say no. I will not be meeting you at Starbucks or Pete's Coffee. I'm going to need you to try a little harder. What if you're broke? Okay, but you know what? That's where you have a creative date, right? That's where you have a creative date. If you're broke, I think something really cute you could do, and it depends on how broke, right? Sometimes you could just spend time with the person. To be real, I think we're talking about these dates like you don't know these people. I feel like you should be talking to a woman and getting to know her prior to taking her on a date. And you guys know I don't advocate for dating people who you don't know their circle. So, people you meet at work, people you meet through mutual friends, people that you've had some interactions with in other spaces. I think those are the best people to date. It gives you an opportunity to exchange numbers with them, talk to them, get to know them before you ever take it there. And I think by the time you take it there, then you could say something and it would be a date, but not officially. You could be like, hey, I'm going to go take a jog in the park. I'm going to, it depends on where you live, right? You could be like, I'm going to go over to Golden Gate Park. Do you want to come? We can get some ice cream, just chop it up, whatever. And I think like those are low pressure situations where you really get a chance to get to know somebody. I feel like the will of going out for coffee, tea, going out to dinner, I think that will of dating is for people who aren't about being in a serious relationship, me personally, right? I think people who are interested in being in real relationships, for those of you who are interested in that, are more people that you meet here and there, and then you guys kind of hang out. And even though date might not be what you call it, that's essentially what it is. I know my man now, he came over to my house for business. We did a lot of talking on the phone. Like, we did a whole lot of talking and, just interacting in non uh, date situations. And then the first time we did go on a date, we went out of town on a date. He was like, I really need a break. I was like, my mom just died. I need a break too. Do you know what I mean? And we went and we took a trip just to have a break. And we just went to Napa. We didn't go anywhere far. Going to Napa when you're from the Bay Area is just like, that's not like a major trip or anything. And we just chilled and had a good time. But see, there was a lead up to that, right? And so I feel like that's the same thing. I feel like that's the same thing I would say is don't be a rotational person. Like, I personally look out for stuff like that. You said BGS is taking his women out on romantic Groupon dates. Don't pick on BGS. You're a mess. I know I am pretty gangsta. I'm glad I haven't had to date a lot because I'm gonna tell you, the little time I did date got on my nerves. Everybody seems to just be wanting a free meal and sex, and I'm just like, I'm not part of the free meal and sex brigade. So, yeah, exactly. Just do something interactive for the first date. Like, it shouldn't be dinner or tea. 2 trips around the park and you'll know if you like a chick after that. Yeah. I mean, you guys, that's why I said segues are really fun. Um, just invite somebody, because if you approach a woman like dinner, da da da, movies, like I said, are a bad idea because you don't get to know people. but just being low pressure, y'all. Do you know what I mean? Just a low pressure situation where y'all are just hanging out goes so far. Like it just really does. Because the object, right? At least in my opinion, because I'm like always thinking marry, right? I'm raising my daughters to get married and I'm raising my sons to marry women. So when I think about it, I'm like, object is to get to know the person, right? I feel like when the first thing you want to do with somebody is take them out for a meal, you're trying to have sex with that person. You're not really trying to get to know them. Or maybe you lack creativity and you don't know what else to do. You haven't put thought into it. I feel like when people care and are interested, they put a little more thought into the activity and then it ends up being something that's not like dinner. You know, it ends up being like an actual activity. Who are you guys picking on? Don't pick on him, please. Don't pick on that man. But with that said, how did Taylor May get in trouble? Oh my gosh, y'all need to stop picking on him. But what I would say is, yeah, I thought that that was an interesting little story about her. You can get to know someone for free. That's exactly what I mean, Mr. Well, here's the thing, though. You can talk to a person. I feel like before y'all even go out anywhere, especially as a woman, um, you should be talking to that person on the phone and just seeing if you have verbal chemistry and mental chemistry. And then after that, you know, you can do something with them. So, yeah, you can get to know somebody for free, but I'm just talking about with an activity, you're always getting to know people, like at the end of the day. Like you could be in a full on marriage, you're still going to be getting to know that person. So, thank you, Taylor Made. Hi, Frankie. Not too many women are using their intuition. Not too many men are using their instincts because everybody's out for the wrong thing. In today's day and age, they're telling women to want sex, right? I mean, they're telling women to want money and they're telling men to want sex, and people aren't looking for relationships because they're being misled. But I'm talking about people who are looking for healthy relationships, right? There's a difference between how you move when you're just trying to get something out of somebody, be that their body or be that in their pockets, and how you move when you're trying to have like a healthy relationship with somebody, right? There's a difference to how that movement is. And so I'm speaking from a perspective of wanting a healthy relationship with somebody. But yeah, with that said, you guys, I just thought that that was really interesting um, about the guy that Insider was talking about who said he was just after sex and she ordered a $126 meal. Although, like I said, I think it's a lie because that just didn't sound realistic to me. That a place that would be able to sell you pasta and a beer for $20 would also have lobster and a $90 bottle of wine on the menu. Like, I just smell a lie. But still, the lie gave us interesting conversation. so, so that's okay. Dennis Connor, yeah, but you shouldn't be trying to meet people on social media. I'm gonna say, I don't know that that's the way. So with that said, you guys, I'm gonna go. Please do thumbs up the video on your way out. I hope you enjoyed this. This is a little fun. I'm about to go bake cookies right now, though, because I want to make cookies. I'm gonna make dinner, and so I'll talk to all of you guys later. Bye bye.